Hey friends, this week at my school we have Diverseabilities week, and this is what I wore on Monday. It says, I confuse physicians. Oops. I confuse physicians. It's in regards to EDS and hypermobility. Let's do that again so you can see it better. The zebra. It says, I confuse physicians. I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to wear a shirt every day at school for this week, and we're having a day on Friday where everyone's wearing orange in solidarity for Diverseabilities, but no one's really talking about anything during the day. So I wanted to talk about my hypermobility journey. I'm just finished my period yesterday, and I'm just seizing up really tight around the hips, and feeling pain in the knees. And I may have said this before that like usually when I try to open a jar, it's like really difficult. There's always this wrist pain. Writing was a big deal as a kid, still is. And I think a lot of people don't know about hypermobility. So every time I run across somebody at my school who's a BT, helps the kids with special needs that's working at the school, I want to teach them about some of the physical and chronic issues and illnesses that might be going on, because we want to always talk about behavioral concerns, mental health concerns, but nobody's looking at like the presentation of actual physical issues, whether it's hypermobility. I was talking to somebody at the school that said one of her students is hypertonic. I don't know if there's a correlation between hypermobility and hypertonic, but it just seems to me that the core issue there is obviously the overreactive nervous system that isn't regulated. I think for all of us neurodivergent people, that's kind of where it starts. And we seem to like grow up, especially in the 80s and 90s, being kind of thought of as nerdy and weird, and we have allergies, and our proprioception is not great. And I don't know, take your pick off the list. There's always something, right? I didn't learn to drive till much later in life, and whatever sensory issues, being overly sensitive and stuff. Smells are very heightened. And I'm just curious to learn more about hypermobility because, or maybe hypermobility in attention or in relation. Sorry, language is so much fun when you're like this. In correlation with, see, losing it again. Fun. Talking about hypermobility and the correlation with the nervous system issue, and how, I did a video a while back saying, is there anyone out there who's hypermobile and not neurodivergent? And so far, all the videos have made it seem like that's not possible. We haven't found that situation yet. So it seems like most of the people who have replied to my video are also neurodivergent as well as hypermobile, or have mast cells or POTS or all of it, or dysautonomia. I don't know. It's like a whole stew, a whole neurodivergent stew, so to speak. So anyways, I wanted to wear this yesterday, and nobody really asked me about it. I did mention it to one of the people there. I said, this is a zebra. It's about EDS and connective tissues and joint pain, and how I was telling her you should look into it for yourself as a woman, and maybe some of your young students might be dealing with this. Things we don't talk about. Having allergies and constantly feeling like everything's a trigger, not realizing at all it had anything to do with mast cells or anything like that as a child, because I grew up in the 80s, and missing the correlations with like things like TMJ and allergies and inner ear issues and throat stuff and gut issues and pelvic floor tightness or whatever. It's all connected. It's all connected to having connective tissue issues and having to hold your muscles so tight, and also just feeling things so strongly. So dysregulated nervous system already makes you feel like, hey, you got focus. Either be hyper focused in your body, in your muscles, in your mind, in your heart, in your emotions. So, there's all that. So, yeah, it's just, interesting to talk about it. And I wish there'd be more research in regards to it, especially for women. I'm sure there are men out there who are hypermobile and have EDS, but women seem to get hit with a lot more of these comorbidities. And for me, just finding all this through hitting perimenopause, finding out I had ADHD. Who knows? Again, probably maybe good possibility of being autistic. And I did I do think I had mast cells in one of my like small or large intestines. Although when I messaged the GI doctor, they're like, "What are you talking about?" So I'm getting tired. I would love to find a PT in hypermobility. Live in the Bay Area, and my insurance people, like, I have to call them back because she left me a message saying, "I can't find any providers with your prerequisites." I'm like, no shit. You just It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that we have to fight to get PT for hypermobility when we want to get stronger and have insurance pay for some of it. And it's like regular doctors don't know what we're talking about. I tell you to talk to ear, nose, and throat doctor. I'm looking for myofunctional therapy for my mouth and stuff and all kinds of stuff. I just wish there was like a specialist you could go to and they would pinpoint you for every little thing, which I think I might have a contact. I went to see somebody in the summer, and I'm just working through trying to see how much of the bill is going to get paid by insurance. And then if that's the case, they might be my one and only contact to do all that kind of stuff I need to do for my hypermobility and the genetic testing, because going through the regular outlets hasn't been helpful. I was looking at UCSF for genetic testing, and the lady did the evaluation per video. That's right, video, and was like, I don't think you're hypermobile. Whatever. There's various degrees on the spectrum, so that's just insulting. And so I just waiting to hear back. It's a place called Comfort Clinic in Berkeley, and I instinctually feel like that's going to kind of be the way I need to go, because it's just been really hard to go within like the regular system. And I'm hoping I can find something that like I'll get some payment back through insurance, because you know us, we got so much debt on our credit cards. Hey. Oh, that's my son in the background. Is it normal to feel like allergic reaction or tickles in your throat after you exercise? Or like, I just feel it every time I come home indoors. So I don't know. I wake up and like I have postnasal drip in the morning and everything's stiff and body's hard to get. I feel like the Tin Man. I've said this many TikToks ago. I compare this to being the Tin Man, where everything's hard to move and stuff. And I just, between the postnasal drip, the itchy throat, the sometimes feeling slightly dizzy, the sometimes getting up and feeling like, where did my eyesight go? And it comes back. So it's like, I'm not as severe as some people, but I do feel little bits of irritants in here and there. Like being in a car as a passenger, I kind of get, woo, roller coasters aren't great for me. So, it's all interconnected. And I've been hearing also about prostaglandins, might be saying it wrong, in regards to end of period, how they like go up and they mess with your hormones and all kinds of stuff. So I'm really having a hard time recording a video. My family's like right on my ass. It is almost bedtime, but I wanted to record something because there's just a lot going on. And I'm going to see my first gynecologist in a long time next week. And I'm hoping to get some more testing done and figure out more stuff with prostaglandin and all the stuff that people never talked about before, but now we know about.